Welcome back, everyone. We're doing another fun episode of Indie Reads Aloud. I love when I get to meet new authors. You guys have been listening now for 2 years, so you all know how crazy I get when I meet new to me authors. Today, we're meeting MaKenzi Fox. She lives all the way in Oklahoma, and she is a children's book author. So if you have little ears in your life, you might want to gather them around the speakers, turn up the volume so that we can all listen together. MaKenzi is a 26-year-old author from Moore, Oklahoma. She began writing children's books at a young age, but didn't decide to publish until adulthood. She's happy she finally published her first book. MaKenzi is also a second grade teacher. Her books are geared toward primary students as well as elementary school teachers. She's also taught third grade in the past as well. In addition to being an author and teacher, MaKenzi owns a spray tan business, Foxy Tans, which I love the name of that. That's a great name for a
Thank you.
business. Oh my gosh.
Thanks.
As well as an all-star dance program, Level Up All Stars. She stays busy with those activities, and her boyfriend and 4 pets keep her on her toes. Now, we here at Indie Reads Aloud are a very pet-friendly functionality place. So we need to know the names and the species of your animals.
Okay, so I have Charlie, the cat. I don't know what type of cat he is. I'm not very familiarized with the cat species, but he's a gray and white cat. He just
Okay.
entered the family 3 months ago. He showed
Great.
up on our porch and we took him. And then I have Rose and Jack. They're two black cats. And then we have Stella, and she's a little doggy. She's just kind of a mutt mix of like German Shepherd, Lab. We don't know exactly what she is, but we love them
I
both.
love rescue mutts. They're the
Me
best.
too. Yeah, she's super sweet. She's a very sweet dog.
Today you're going to be reading Jerry the Giraffe, Quiet in the Classroom.
Yes.
What was the thing that made you think, I need to write a book about a giraffe?
So it's actually kind of funny because I was in a college class last summer for my education courses that I needed to finish up my teaching certification. And I've now been a teacher for 3 years. And in the classroom, I use this hand symbol that I named Jerry the Giraffe. And so when I'm trying to get the students' attention, if we're moving on to a new activity or I need them to be listening to what I'm saying, I would hold up the Jerry the Giraffe symbol and the students would do the symbol back to me. And, I've been using this for years as a dance teacher and a school teacher. And it's something that I teach all of my kids at the beginning of the year. I say, okay, guys, I'm going to introduce you guys to Jerry the Giraffe. And I teach them, like, okay, let's practice like we're whispering and talking to our friends. And so they'll act like they're talking. And then I'll hold my hand up and then they do it back. And so I was in this college class last summer, and we had to write down what classroom management strategies we were using in the classroom to
Mm-hmm.
keep students' attention. And when I was writing down the method on the board and I showed my class the method, my professor goes, "Oh, did you learn that in a children's book?" And I was like, actually, no, I made that up myself. And so, I started writing when I was little. I actually wrote my first book when I was 8 years old, and my teacher really wanted me to publish it. She wrote a letter to my family and she said, your daughter has a really good talent at writing. But growing up, I was a dancer, so I didn't really have time to publish. It wasn't like a major interest of mine. But instantly, when I was in that college class, I got in the car and I was like, that needs to be my first book, Jerry the Giraffe, Quiet in the Classroom. So I essentially wrote the book for teachers and students, and it teaches them the hand symbol that teachers can teach their students. But a way to introduce it is by showing them the symbol as well as reading them the book. So a lot
What
of
a great
teachers,
idea.
yeah, thank you.
Have
Um,
have you thought about going back and publishing that book that you wrote in childhood?
when I go back and read it, I don't think it was as great as my teacher thought it was, but I'm
Yes,
glad.
but now that you're older, you can edit it
Yes,
and
that's
you
true.
can you could do it again.
That is true. It was
The
about like
new
a
and improved
7 show.
version, right?
Yes, yeah. And we had to draw our own pictures, and I am not an illustrator by any means. So when I look at the illustrations, I was like 8 years old. I guess the writing wasn't that bad. Like it was pretty good, but the illustrations were just hilarious because I mean you can imagine a first grader drawing.
Sure.
And so it's pretty funny. My parents have it saved at the house, and so
That's
it's
fantastic.
fun to look
How
back.
fun.
So
I am super excited to hear you read this story. We have
Thank
a
you.
lot of little ears who listen to the podcast, so
Yes.
we always like sharing new children's stories. So when
Awesome.
you are ready, please take the microphone and read aloud.
Okay, sounds great. So, like she said, today I'm going to be reading to everybody listening, Jerry the Giraffe, Quiet in the Classroom. It's written by me, MaKenzi Fox, and it's illustrated by Jalen Monroe. This is Jerry the Giraffe. He is a wonderful guy. When you first meet Jerry, he can be somewhat shy. There is lots of clatter and chatter inside the classroom door. So one day Jerry shouted out, "I can't stand the noise. No more, no more." Miss Fox spoke with Jerry and said, "Jerry, why did you shout?" Jerry said to his teacher, "It's too loud in this classroom. I simply want out." So Miss Fox pondered on what she should do. She knew Jerry was right. Everything he said was true. The classroom was always loud. It was a noisy place indeed. All the talking made it hard to learn. Miss Fox understood Jerry's plea. So Miss Fox sat down in her pink teacher chair. She said, "Students, come have a seat." And they all began to stare. Jerry the Giraffe has expressed a concern. It is too loud in this classroom, which makes it hard to learn. When the classroom is too loud, up my hand will go. And when you see me use this sign, you will then know. It is too loud in this classroom, and we need to be quiet. All of this talking makes it sound like a riot. When Miss Fox started using the Jerry sign, the students used it too. The classroom turned completely quiet. The whole place felt brand new. As the days went on, Jerry felt more confident at school. Jerry was able to focus more. Being smart is so cool. The Jerry the Giraffe sign made the classroom a wonderful place to be. A quiet classroom makes it much easier to learn. Don't you agree? And that's my book, Jerry the Giraffe, Quiet in the Classroom.
That's fantastic. I love
Thank
that. The
you.
artwork is just beautiful.
Yes, I loved my illustrator. It's funny because she's actually, I had a prior illustrator before Jalen, and it just didn't work out. We lived in two different countries. He actually lived in Venezuela, so it was hard to communicate and be on the same page. But she lives in Louisiana, and she's also an author herself. And I thought she did an amazing job, and it ended up being great artwork and matching my vision. So,
Now, you have another book coming out shortly.
yes, in February, called The Day Kara Cut Her Bangs.
Okay. And are you using the same illustrator for that book as well?
I'm actually not. I wanted to use Jalen, but she, like I said, she's also an author as well. So she was kind of tied up in other projects.
Sure.
But when I was posting about being a children's book author through local Oklahoma pages where I'm from, this woman reached out to me and she told me she did artwork and that she would be interested in illustrating a book. And she told me that she'd never illustrated a book before. So I was a little apprehensive. So, I just messaged her and I said, "Hey, can you send me some work?" And I sent her a piece of my story and just said, "Hey, like go wild with this. Draw whatever you see for this page, and I gave her like a little snippet of my story, and I loved what she did. And so she's also from Oklahoma City, which is very close to where I'm from. And so her name is Brianna, and so we are working together on the book. And so I'm excited to use somebody from my home state, and it'll be her first book she's ever illustrated. So I'm looking
I think that's just wonderful. I love how the internet and social media really has connected us with people that otherwise we would never know.
Yes,
Um,
exactly.
this podcast is an excellent example of that.
Yeah.
If not for you, and connecting with Mark McCraw,
Hmm.
I would never meet you. So,
Yes,
and I would never
exactly.
meet Mark unless we
Yes.
had the internet. So it's really a
Yeah.
wonderful thing. I
Yeah.
love how connected our world is becoming. I think it's really a positive thing.
Yes, I agree.
Thank you so much for your time today, MaKenzi. I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Yeah,
And I look
thanks for
forward
having
to
me.
having you back on the program to read your next book for us.
Yes, sounds great. Thank you so much.